welcome to the Indie Band Guru interview series. We'd like to welcome our first real interview with independent singer-songwriter T3TRA out of Northern California. Let me just let you introduce yourself, T3TRA. Go ahead.
Thanks, Keith. So I am T3TRA. I'm, as you said, an independent singer-songwriter in the electro-pop genre. I just recently released my first EP under the name T3TRA in October, called Polarity. I'm really excited to be doing this interview with you.
It's great. It's something we really want to get behind the scenes more with hardworking independent artists out there that are doing it all themselves and, you know, combining talents to make it all work. Let me ask you first, though, where did you get the name T3TRA? And if I'm correct, it's spelled T3TRA, right?
Yes, it is. So the name T3TRA, I discovered the dark triad, which psychologists and researchers call like the worst personality traits in a person. And that's Machiavellianism, psychopathy, and narcissism. And they were debating adding, a lot of people wanted them to add a fourth one for sadism. And I just really liked how warped that was. There's also a fish called T3TRA, and I'm from an Italian fishing family. So different ends of the spectrum both worked. When I was signing up for all my social media accounts, T3TRA with an E was taken. So I went with the 3 for I am T3TRA. And originally, that was just social media. My name wasn't with the 3. But then more and more bands and artists started popping up with an E. And so I decided to go with a 3 to make myself stand out. So when people were searching for me, they would find that.
Oh, well, you definitely do stand out. I'll say that.
Well, thank you.
Speaking of your music, how would you describe it? It's quite a unique sound. How would you describe it?
I would definitely put it in the electronic, electro-pop genre. I think a lot of people are scared to just say pop because everyone just thinks immediately top 40, but I'm a huge fan of pop, and I was originally doing pop rock music under another name, my actual name, Tess Dunn, but eventually I kind of grew bored of it after 8 years of doing the same thing, and so electropop was a nice little break.
Perfect. And as speaking of, like you said, you've developed, what influences musically would you say got you to where you are now?
It all started off with the band Paramore. I really liked them. I really wanted to get into music, and they were an inspiration for the pop rock little 16-year-old that I was. Recently, my influences are Halsey, the 1975, Lana Del Rey, Tove Lo, people in that genre. Again, pop. So those are my main influences right now, definitely.
I could definitely see the Tove Lo influence. A really, really big fan of her, so that's a good thing. What would you say, it's not easy, being an independent artist, doing it all yourself. What would you say drives you to, put in that hard work every day?
For me, music comes to me as naturally as breathing, and I have to do it. I joke a lot of the time, I hate music, but I have to do it. And that's because, when I was first starting out, I would ask musicians, hey, do you have any advice? And their immediate response was, get out immediately. And of course, I couldn't do that. But sometimes, it is hard being an independent artist. You don't have a lot of the financial resources that other bands, who are signed to labels do have. And it's very DIY in order to get your music out there. And what drives me is that it's hard, but I have to do it, and I love it anyway. And I have this strong ambition to accomplish what I've started and finish what I've started, accomplish what I want to. I just can't give up is what I've learned. So that's what really drives me.
And it's even harder, it seems, being a woman, a young 22-year-old woman in music. How has that kind of made it more difficult for you? What have you been able to use that as a benefit for you? Take a minute on that.
So as we both know, I actually wrote that article for you, 3 tips for women in music to get their voices heard. And that was a really important article for me because I think women are so likely to be passive and be complacent, not because we are that, but because I think there's a fear that we'll be seen as, rude or mean and be looked down upon by our male peers. But it's really important for us to speak up. I remember when I was 17, I was headlining a gig, the first act of it, and I had my 4 male bandmates, and they were just the sound guys, and I say sound guys because they were men, wouldn't talk to me at all. They would only talk to my band members as if I didn't know what I was doing somehow. And I would try and cut in and be like, oh, no, we need this many DIs. No, this needs to go through the PA. And it'd be like, okay. Anyway, so Will, as I was saying to you, what do we need here? And that was so frustrating. And but I was 17 and I didn't really know better. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'll let the boys talk. And since in 5 years, I've learned that I can't do that anymore. I have to take control of my own music career, and women need to do that too. They need to take control of what they're doing. And this sounds very preachy and judgmental, but it's not. It's more, I hope that as a songwriter, I can encourage other women to speak up and get their voices heard. There are definitely times where it's, sort of easier to be a woman in music, especially when it comes to, sex appeal, for example. But generally, I do think that it is harder. So I'm hoping to pave the way for other young musicians who are hoping to accomplish their dreams in a very much male-dominated industry.
Well, you're definitely moving in the right direction, and I hope the industry as a whole has started to move in the right direction. It's hard for all of us, so if we could just work together, everyone will get along a lot better, and we'll do what we have to do.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. On that same note, as other young female and male artists starting out, what advice would you have for them to kind of give them a leg up, over what you've learned over the past 10 years?
Get out while you can. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's really easy to get discouraged, especially when you're just starting out, because I think a lot of, people see these music stars, their single suddenly jumps up overnight. They're an overnight sensation. That's what they're called. And in reality, a lot of the time, these artists have worked very, very hard and for a very long time just to get that song out there. Rarely does someone go, oh, I think I'm going to record a song today and maybe upload it, I guess. And then suddenly it goes viral. It's happened, but that's so rare. So never feel discouraged because of other people's stories, in terms of how they became famous, became heard, all of the stuff that I think a lot of people are hoping for. And also, don't let the idea for fame drive you. Do music for you. Do music because you feel like you need to do it. Because if you're doing it just for the money, for the fame, for the red carpet walks, then you're not doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's, you got to have that passion inside of you and just keep moving forward. That's what drives everyone. But as Tetra, what's next for you? New music coming out? What's on the horizon?
Yes, I'm super excited. I just started planning out the full album, which I'm going to be calling Polarity Lux. And I've been recording songs for that over the past couple of months, and I'm actually about to go in and do some vocals, and that'll be out probably around the end of the year. And then I've recently been planning a trilogy of EPs after that, sort of breaking it into parts of my life. As a healing gesture for me, with a lot of things that have happened. When I wrote the songs for Polarity, that was before a lot. I recorded Polarity in December of 2015, so it's been a while. It's a big jump from 20 to 22, even though it's only 2 years. So I'm really excited to be doing that. so yes, a lot of recording and then touring that hopefully will be fun with my band.
Excellent. I'm sure a lot of fans are looking forward to it. It's just the songs you have out there are really starting to really grab people. So, when you get out there and perform it in front of them with the real person that you are, which is abundantly obvious just from speaking to you, that connection is real. So
Thank you.
I wanted to thank you for taking the time to sit down with us. We hope to keep doing more and more interviews and get behind the scenes, and we hope to see you really succeed in your career. So,
thank you. I love Indie Band Guru, so this was wonderful to do.
all right, we appreciate it, and we'll speak more in the future. Thank you.
Yes, have a good one.